atCAMS, because today we have a legendary, historical, and the best podcast of the auto industry. And yes, I'm talking about atCAMS podcast because I have somebody here who has been with me, if you've been following my channel, in multiple videos. And I'm going to show you right now, right quick, who am I talking about? Let me see if you can find that legendary video of the Mazda MX-5. And if you have followed my channels recently, you will know exactly who am I talking about.
First things first, we need to do this before we start this video.
This guy right here. This guy right here.
The bouncy eyebrows are back.
Yes, sir.
Check
You
that
guys
out.
know who I'm talking about now. I'm talking about the legendary Mike Haworth.
What's up, Oz?
What's up, my
it's
friend?
about time we're back together, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what, Mike? I've been trying to get a podcast going on for a long time right now. And as of today, we finally come in together for, when was the last time we came in together in a video? I don't even remember.
Oh, it's probably been what, a good 2 years?
I think we're going back to 2017, my friend.
Wow, it's been that long. Well, when you get old, all the time changes.
You know how it is. You know, work, commitment, family. Actually, I got married in the process.
I know. And here, and you've moved to 2 different countries, 3 different countries now. This is my second since we last did our video. Oh man,
dude,
life has changed.
Yeah, I mean, life is like carrying along with me, man. But Mike, how's it going? Like last time I heard of you, you were in South Carolina. Now you're where? Where are you at now?
I'm in Germany. I'm in Stuttgart. So I've got Mercedes right down the road. I've got Porsche right up the other side of the city.
Okay.
Life is good. I mean, it's for a car lover.
Yeah.
There's not very many better places. Now I will admit Italy has got some pretty nice cars.
I know
it's hard to.
You recommend me
hard to
Italy.
argue against them.
You recommend me Italy. That's why I'm here.
I did.
Thanks to you. We just switched places.
That's right. I love Italy. Italy is close to my heart. I loved my time there. It's a wonderful place. Great cars, great people, great food, great weather.
I'm packing up weight like it's no business, man. That Italian pizza is legitimately the best pizza in the world.
Oh
Period.
yeah, no. If you've eaten Italian pizza, you're ruined for pizza. I don't care. I know that there's going to be some people in Chicago and New York that are screaming right now. No, we've got the best pizza. No.
Leave it in the comments down below, guys. If you guys believe that Chicago pizza or New York pizza is better than the original Napolitana, la buona pizza. Because this guy right here, he was the one who told me, like, once you cross that line, you're not ever gonna look back.
Yeah, no, you're ruined for life.
Yes, you are.
I'm sorry, but you are ruined.
Dude, I have become.
Can we be in a better place for cars?
Europe, well, the US is good and Japan is great, but Europe, man, you have to give it to European market, man. This place right here, I don't know. I have seen vehicles that I've been dreaming of to see before, and like it's like a mecca of vehicles, especially Stuttgart is one of them.
Oh yeah, no, it's been awesome, and for me, Europe is kind of the best and the worst of automobiles.
Yeah.
You see some of the best cars in the world in Europe, but also some of the worst cars in the world. I don't know. Have you seen a Cactus?
Yes, I have, and it's not the most attractive vehicle in the world.
it's a bad car with a bath mat on the side.
Let me show you guys.
That's absolutely horrific.
Let me show you guys. Let me find it right here.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. For those of you in the States, if you guys have not seen a Cactus, it's probably a good thing.
Dude,
it's not a good looking car.
I'm telling you this, and this is a true story. I'm helping one of my coworkers to buy a new vehicle to fit in her garage. She just moved into a true Italian apartment. You know, those apartments have not much space. And she got a garage that is very, very small, very compact. And she was asking me about the Cactus. Look at this thing, guys. This is one of the most ugly looking vehicles in the auto industry. It's odd. And it's a French.
It's bad.
It's a French car.
They need to stick to bread and pastries. Cars are just not their thing. I'm sorry.
That's what they need to do. Like, literally.
I love France. Don't get me wrong. I love France. I love to go visit. Great people, great food, great art. But cars, not so much.
Well, we have to be careful because we have a lot of fans out. They're always gushing about Bugatti, and Bugatti is French, even though it's built by Volkswagen.
Yeah. but you know what's really gotten me though here, Oz, since I've been here, and I'm a horsepower guy.
Yeah.
And I will say that MX-5 changed my mind a lot. That was a big turning point for me. I will give that to you. But I've been a huge Porsche fan forever. Okay. Porsches for me are kind of the pinnacle of just art and motion, and it's just a beautiful car. It's historical. But since I've been here, I've been bitten a little bit. I'm starting to edge towards electric vehicles being okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not quite there yet. And I know I've given you a lot of crap about your Prius.
Dude, like, who has a Prius? This guy right here. Oh my God.
And I understand it. But that Taycan.
I'm putting it right here, right now. Watch it, guys. A beautiful car, man. What you can see? What is attracting you to the Taycan other than is the Porsche, the pinnacle of the Porsche electric vehicles?
It's just emotional and it's sexy.
You think so?
I don't know. I mean, I do.
A four-door Porsche is sexy. That's a statement, man.
So. I think that one is. I'm not a big fan of the Panamera. I think the new Panamera looks much better than the original.
Oh, yes.
The original looked like the stepchild that was built back behind the barn. It was still a Porsche. I mean, it still, when push came to shove, it got around a corner great. It was a great GT car. It just didn't look very good.
No, it was kind of like the first generation was like a prototype. Looks like an elephant to me. I never was into the Porsche Panamera first generation. The second generation, they improve it a lot. Like, they slim it down, they make it lighter, it's wider, and like you said, driving dynamics are off the charts. And that's one of the best looking vehicles right now to me and probably to you. But the Taycan, I'm looking at the picture that we have right here, guys, and it looks very appealing. And okay, Mike, that Tesla is like the actual right now, I said today, is the pinnacle of the electric vehicles. Like, we have to give it to Tesla.
But absolutely. Tesla has done an amazing job and has converted so many people to electric vehicles. I mean, just go on YouTube, look at drag racing videos with any Tesla, and they're blowing away cars that they've got no business beating. I mean, it's that electric motor, and it's growing on me. Like I said, I've been kind of slow to accept the electric vehicle. I like that visceral sounds, the feelings you get from the sound of a motor, the sound of the exhaust. To me, that's part of the driving experience, and that's part of the fun. That downshift, and you get a little pop and crackle, and I'm a 14-year-old boy at heart, I guess. I love that.
Who isn't?
But with that being said, I'm getting up there in age. And so, I don't know what happens when you start to get about my age, and I'm not going to go ahead and give that out, but I'm old enough that, for some reason, even though I've got the money to pay for gas, if I've got the option to not pay for gas and I still got a car that can go like a bat out of hell, that proposition is sounding more appealing to me.
Yeah. The electric ones. My wife had talked to me into buying an electric vehicle. However, because she lives in Germany and I live in Italy, well, I need a vehicle that I can fill in 2-3 minutes and keep on going. It's 500 miles between one house to the other house. And to me, I said today, the hybrid is the way to go, at least for my needs. But if I
Absolutely.
if I was living in the same household and I was in the same city and commuting to work and just having some trips around the country or within the city, like a day in, day out, I will definitely consider an electric vehicle, maybe a Tesla Model 3, maybe a Tesla Model Y. What do you think?
I think the Model Y is a great looking car. For me and what I would want it for, I think the Model 3 is the perfect fit for me. For what I would want. It's a comfortable car. It's got decent range. The price, I don't think you can beat the price right now for performance in an electric vehicle. I don't care what you look at. I don't know if you care if you look at the Mach E, you look at the Polestar 2, you know, even and this is going to sound crazy. Okay. A Tesla Model 3 is similarly priced to the Hyundai Ioniq.
Okay. And that's a good thing.
Think about that. I mean, go back in your mind 3-4 years and you think of Tesla and you're thinking, you know, $90,000, $100,000 for a vehicle. And the technology has evolved so quickly to now a Model 3, you can get in a Model 3 for under 40 grand.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's pretty impressive. You look at the Hyundai. I mean, the Hyundai, their top Ioniq is going for almost the exact same price as a Model 3.
And one thing I like about Hyundai is Hyundai has come a long way in the auto industry. I remember Hyundai in the late 90s, early 2000s. Nobody would purchase one. There was like the cheapest build quality vehicle ever. However, now fast forward 2021, Hyundai, Kia, Genesis have come a long way. They actually have the designers from Audi, the actual chief designer from Audi in Korea working for them. They pay them big money. And now they're coming with really good quality vehicles. And
absolutely. They are 100%. If you would have told me even 5 years ago that if I was in the market for a fun little car, that I would even be thinking about Hyundai or Kia, I would have beat you upside the head. I mean, that just wasn't a reality. But you look now at the things that they're putting out and the vehicles that they've got out, it's night and day from where they were. I mean, in the States, we're kind of limited with some of the models that we have here in Europe.
Yeah.
Like the i30N, the hatchback, and they've got a fastback version.
Talking
Great
about
cars. Oh my gosh. And the sound.
It's crazy.
Again, I come back. I'm the sound guy. I love that. I love the sound of a good exhaust. You know, we've got the Veloster N in the States and the new Veloster N. Yeah. Another great car. So yeah, Hyundai's come a long way. And I don't know when you look at the Ioniq and the Model 3, I don't know, is Hyundai aiming too high or is Tesla aimed too low? For those cars to be in the same market right now, I don't, they're for the same price. I guess it's a different car. You know, if you've got two different people that are going to probably shop those cars, you know, but for somebody to have the opportunity to step up to Tesla, which has kind of put itself in a premium class of car, and somebody that's cross shopping a Hyundai is shopping also a Tesla. Yeah. Just when you look at dollar wise, you know, the Hyundai lacks in range. It can't meet the range that the Tesla has. So their technology is a little bit behind. But good on you, Hyundai.
They're catching up.
They are. And the technology is just growing so fast and seeing there's a lot of electric vehicles here in Europe. Gas is extremely expensive. Yeah. So all of you, even in California, you guys are paying crazy gas prices. Well, almost double those prices is what people are paying here. And I know in Italy, at least it was when I lived there, about 80% of the cars were diesel.
Still, it's a lot. There's a lot of diesel vehicles here.
And part of that is I get that you get, you know, more bang for your buck with the gas, and it's subsidized a little bit by the government. And I think there's some other things that helps make that cheaper. That had been the case in Germany, but in Stuttgart especially, it's a very green and environmentally friendly city. Yeah. And so what's happened is actually a few years ago, they banned diesel vehicles inside the city center.
Yeah.
So there's been a huge changeover in this part of Germany for sure, where you're seeing more electric vehicles and more gas vehicles, which you would have never seen in Europe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's just, so I'm driving around and I'm seeing a lot of these electric vehicles, and I just, they're to the point that they make sense. You look at the Nissan Leaf. I had a friend that had a Leaf when they first came out. That was
Yes.
kind of the first full electric vehicle that was approachable for most people's budgets.
Yeah.
At that time, I was in Northern California. Um, I lived in Vacaville, which is kind of halfway between San Francisco, Sacramento area, and she worked in Napa, which is about a 25-mile drive for what she was doing. She didn't have enough electricity in her batteries to get to work and back.
Wow.
So I mean, she had to find a place to plug in her car. At that time, there weren't no places to plug in. So it wasn't realistic for most people unless you just ran around the neighborhood.
Yes. I think
that's not the case anymore.
Well, I think that's my biggest concern right now for international travel or interstate travel, because we're talking U.S. and also Europe, right? We can go across 3 countries a year the same way you can go across 3 states in the United States. It's about the same distance. Yes. But that's what deters me from buying an electric vehicle as of today. That's the only thing. I think that once the grid gets to the actual demand, I think that electric is going to be the way to go. I was listening the other day a podcast of Autoblog that they were talking about how Audi is making use of mechanical electric turbines to make the Audi e-tron sound amazing, even though it's not that rumbling sound of the engine or the exhaust, but mechanical electric turbine sounds. It's going to be synthetic inside of the through the speakers, but it's going to give you the feeling of going fast, and that's going to be a different experience, and that's what we're talking about, right? When you and I were young, or our parents were younger, and they had the Mustangs. My mom used to have a Celica ST back from the 70s. My dad used to have a Malibu, and they were all like, they were all excited about the rumbling sound and the emotions that the sound brings to you when you're driving. Nowadays, we have to adapt, and we're living in a different time, different era, and technology is here. And Tesla, like, they don't even name themselves as an auto company. They call their company as a technology company. We have to adapt to the times.
I agree. Like I said, I'm kind of late coming to the whole electric vehicle thing, and I'll admit, I've had my doubts about them for a while.
Yeah.
But some of the same concerns you have are what has kind of kept me away from that market. Primarily, the 2 things were the price and the range.
Yeah.
I love to just get in the car and go for a drive. I love to drive. I don't care if I'm driving around the block. I don't care where I'm driving. I just enjoy driving. I like being in cars, and it doesn't matter what car.
Yeah.
Like right now, I have a GTI.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I love it too. I wish I had one.
It's a lot of fun. I loved my BMWs. I've loved a lot of cars. But for my life right now, this little GTI is a blast. But I like to get in the car and just go. And the electric vehicle market wasn't to the point that I could just do that because of lack of infrastructure.
Yes.
And that's getting better and better and better. I'm seeing places almost daily where they're putting in new charging stations.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, what I'm kind of holding out for, I think, is the whole fuel cell electric vehicles. Those, I think that's going to be that's going to be the next big jump, I think, for electric vehicles. Because essentially you can go and fill up a hydrogen cell in 4 or 5 minutes, and now you're back to that 200 to 300 mile range.
Yep.
I know BMW just invested a lot of money in a plant, I believe it's in China, to produce fuel cells.
Yes.
And they're really kind of hanging their hat on the fuel cell electric vehicles being the next big step in an electric vehicle. I don't know.
Yeah. No.
There's some good stuff out there right now. I mean, when you just look at some of the things that are available, in the market, you're sitting for a decent vehicle. You're still looking at $40 to $45,000 entry price to get into an electric vehicle. I mean, that's where it is. I think that'll keep coming down a little bit as the technology evolves and gets a little cheaper and easier to manufacture. But I don't think it's ever going to be, dirt cheap. But I think we're getting there.
Well, the more competition comes in to take a piece of the pie, the better for us. Because right now, if you think about vehicles with fuel cell batteries, I just put right here the Toyota Mirai. They're talking about $50,000 plus vehicles. And for the mere mortals like us, like the blue collar workers, we're professionals, right? But we need to put a lot of money to buy a hydrogen vehicle. And the Mirai, Toyota's been teasing that the new Mirai is going to have the driving dynamics of the Lexus GS. I'm highly interested into see how that vehicle comes out and plays out in the market, because it literally runs out of water. That's what basically is.
Exactly. And that's the big thing. I know a lot of people are gonna disagree with this, but I think there's enough information out there to show that there's at least some credence to it, that our carbon footprint hasn't changed.
Yeah,
we've gone from the polluting vehicles that are putting a lot of stuff back out into the air to we're front loading the pollution with the electric vehicles. We're making the pollution in the manufacturing processes for all the parts, but it's not putting that daily congesting the cities, congesting the air that we're breathing. Yes, it's congesting in some places where the manufacturing and the mining processes and all of that. So I think we're just kind of swapping one end of the pollution scale for the other. Again, I think it's going to continue to get better. Give me, would I rather sit behind a 1980 Mercedes that's throwing up big black clouds or an electric vehicle? I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It's better for everybody to have that, and then to have a car that basically makes water.
Yes. They have not said that if it's potable water or not, but nobody's has dared to drink any of it. So far.
Yeah, exactly. But that's still water. I mean, it's better than what's coming out of the tailpipe of my GTI right now.
Oh,
I mean,
definitely.
If I had to choose one to ingest, I'm taking my chances with the water.
With the one from the hydrogen.
Yeah. So, but right now in Germany, I think I want to say it was 20 hydrogen filling stations nationwide.
Well, that's not bad.
That's it. But it's a start.
Yeah.
And I think as again, like the electric vehicle market, again, look back 5 years ago and where it was.
Yeah. Let me show you. Let me put it here. We were talking about the Polestar number 2. You were mentioning that. I got it right here on the screen.
Oh, I think that's a good car. I've owned several Volvos in my life, and while they've never been sporty, that car, that's a good car. I mean, I
think it's sexy.
It looks good. It is. And Volvo makes a great product. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not flashy. You're not going to cruise down Rodeo Drive and have heads turned. But when you get behind the wheel, it does feel special. It really does. I mean, everything the build quality is amazing. The kind of the big thing that I've seen on Tesla here lately, and it is going to probably feed into some of the Polestar 2's market, is the build quality on some of the Tesla Model 3s has dropped a little bit. And I think part of that,
I heard of that. That's kind of concerning for a company that is called, they're the technology company, not a car company.
Yes. Yeah. That was a little concerning. And so I don't know if they've gotten to the point that they're trying to drop that price so much that it's impacting the build quality.
Yep.
Maybe. I think they're trying to reach a different segment than they had been trying to reach before. and I don't blame them for doing that. But I think you've got to keep up the quality of what you're putting out there.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the Polestar is gonna step in. It doesn't have the performance that the Tesla has, but everything else across the board,
yeah,
is pretty nice.
Well, I will say this. What do you think about the stunt? Is this a stunt, or this is a true attempt? Mustang Mach E. I actually did a video a couple of weeks ago about my opinion and my impressions of the Mustang Mach E, and I changed the name to Mach E instead of Mach E.
Well, let's start with the name.
All right, let's start with the name. Proper name.
That's my first biggest issue with this, and for other people that are longtime Mustang lovers, I think that's a lot of people's big issue with this. I think if you had put any other name in the world on that, called it a eucalyptus tree,
eucalyptus Mach E.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't think what you would called it. I think the Mustang name and Mach name,
it stands for
what
for
they're
legend,
trying to do,
right?
but it's sacrilege to me. I mean, it really is. It's like there's a company I'm originally from San Diego.
Yeah,
that's home for me. And there's a company in Oceanside, which is the northern part of San Diego County, that has taken Teslas that have been crashed and crunched and no longer on the road, and they buy them from auctions and they take the technology out of them and they're putting them in other cars.
Oh, really?
So like they did an old Corvette for Tony Hawk. I know they actually have a whole business on retrofitting old 911s.
Okay.
And putting the Tesla electric motors in them. They've got an old Baja Bug that they put an electric motor in. That's just absolutely insane. You think about the power in a Tesla and put in a Volkswagen Beetle body that half of it's been torn off to make a Baja Bug. That thing doesn't weigh.
That's crazy power right there. Power to weight ratio.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's just insane. So, there's a lot of people that are really excited about that.
Yeah.
And then there's people that, like with Tony Hawk's Corvette, that people are just like sticking their head in the sand and pretending like it doesn't exist, because who in their right mind would tear out a V8 and put in an electric motor? But I'm to that point that I think that's kind of cool.
Welcome to the future, really, guys.
Yeah, as much as I love the sound of a good V8, to find a way to keep that vehicle and that body on the road,
yeah,
I think that's awesome. So I think there's a place for that, and I just don't see it with the name Mach E.
Well, I will say that to your argument, and you're right. You might not see it, but to me, what I'm bringing is they probably made a commercial and marketing stunt naming it the Mach E, the Mustang. Just to begin with, the Mustang. Let's just take the white elephant out of the room, address it. The Mustang, right? They're just attempting to use that legendary name and put it on a product that is new and people wants to be like familiar to the legendary sports car, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, a new name would have been better. Like Porsche didn't name the Macan, the 911 Macan, or the 911 Cayenne. They have the Macan, they have the 911, they have the 718 or Boxster or the Cayenne, right? All those names. Like, you have your names. That's it. You have to have your own identity. But I think that Mustang or Ford, because actually, if you look at the Mach E, Mike, it doesn't even have one badge or one emblem from Ford. Everything is Mustang.
Yeah.
So is that like a marketing suicide attempt, or I don't know?
I think it's one of those things that it's going to be a love and a hate thing. Some people are going to love it. Yeah. And other people are going to hate it. If you take the name aside,
yeah, I
think it's not a bad vehicle.
No, I think it's gorgeous looking.
Yeah, it really, and I don't have an issue with the kind of the Mustang-esque taillights, and they've kind of taken some things from the Mustang and put them on there. I don't have an issue with that. I just and again, it's just a name thing, it's
the marketing part of it. It's like, how do you do that?
It is.
Ford, how do you do that?
Yeah, it would be like I don't know, like AMG making a Griswold station wagon. You don't build the Griswold station wagon and throw AMG badge on the back of it and call it a new AMG. I mean, you don't. There's some history that goes with that, and there's it's Aston Martin doesn't make a new DB5.
No. SUV.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it just doesn't happen. So for Ford to have done that and use the Mustang name, I get what they're trying to do. I wish they would have called it something else. And I think there's some people are going to buy it regardless of what it was called.
Yeah.
But I think there's also some people that won't buy it because of what it's called. I think you've got some diehard Mustang fans that's just not okay. As a vehicle itself, I have no issues with it. I think it's a great vehicle.
I think it's going to, with the build quality of Ford, I think to my expectation, I'm a Japanese enthusiast. I like the Japanese vehicles slightly over or better than the Americans counterparts, right? But the Mustang quality or the Ford quality is going to be on par or better than the Tesla quality overall. I have been listening and watching a lot of podcasts of Tesla owners that they're complaining terribly about the build quality of the interiors, rattling sounds and noises coming from their cabins, or the echoey sound of the Model X and the Model Y. That they say that it sounds like you're talking in a cave with echo and X and Y and Z. So
you know how you fix that?
How?
Put a 350 small block, and all of a sudden you don't hear those things anymore.
Right? No,
to me, that's the other side of the electric vehicles that you're going to run into. You're going to hear things you didn't hear before.
Yes.
You are. I mean, there's no other sounds except for that high whine from the electric motor.
Yes.
But I exactly. But I agree with you. I think there are some build quality things from Tesla, and I think part of that comes from the fact that, one, they are calling themselves a technology company and not an auto manufacturer.
Yeah.
Because there's some knowledge to be gained just from trial and error in terms of manufacturing cars. I think
that's true.
Where American cars have had their issues in the past, I think we're getting to the point now that build quality, I don't care what car company you look at, and this is probably true around the world for the most part. Cars are going to fall apart around motors and transmissions. The mechanical parts of cars and the build tolerances are so incredibly small compared to what they were 20 years ago. I don't think you're going to see issues. And I think Ford's longevity in the automotive industry, I think, is going to help them immensely with the build quality across the range. Tesla can put all that money into their top end car, but their bottom model is taking a hit, where you're going to see essentially the same build quality in this Mach E as you're going to see in a Fiesta.
Yeah, that's true. And let me tell you something, Mike. I have a problem with the design of the Teslas. That front end looks like something is melting in the front end, and the Mach E, perhaps, let's not say it looks like a Mustang, because it may not have some hints here and there, but the Mustang Mach E looks gorgeous. Period.
Oh, it does. Yeah, no. Some people are going to love it again. Some people are going to hate it. I like the front end of the Mach E. I think it looks really great. I love the fact that it doesn't need to have a radiator grill, but they've done something other than just leave it blank. I think the front of a Teslas have always looked like they forgot something.
It's like they did they squeeze their faces. It's like something is melting, guys. Like something is wrong with them. And you guys are going to leave some comments down below saying like, you guys are wrong. You guys are crazy. Yes, maybe, or perhaps, but right now, that Mustang Mach-E looks great. And it's like going back to the naming vehicles certain way or the other. When Porsche came up with the Macan, I thought that it was the sexiest SUV or CUV, whatever you want to call it, and on the market, period. Like, to me, the Macan is the best looking small, mid-size SUV in the market, sport-looking one. And it does look like a 911, but they never call it or dare to call it 911 Macan. And that's my biggest problem right now with Ford and the Ford Mach E. I think that the Ford Motor Company, we're looking or trying to lure into the people who are always love to buy a Mustang, but they have a family of 3 or 4 people in their house, and it's not practical to them. And they say, well, you know what? Let's give these people like the free car, like you have a Mustang, enjoy it, without the guilt of having a V8, 2 doors that they cannot put their car seat in the back. And as a matter of fact, my best friend from Puerto Rico, Juan Serrano, he owns a Mustang 2015. He just got married, right? And his wife is telling him, like, that Mustang gotta go. So he's been married for a year now. She's already saying, like, Mustang is going. Give me an SUV. And I was like, Juan, I think that happy wife, happy life. That's what the American people say. So let me tell you that. So now he's attempting to or looking into buying an SUV. And I will say that he's going to probably have a hard time finding a better looking SUV than the Mustang Mach E, an electric one. If he's going for electric, I don't know.
Yeah, and I think it was a good move by Ford to bring this car to market. Obviously, the number one selling car in the U.S. isn't a car anymore.
Yeah.
SUVs are king. And in
the SUVification of the market. SUVification. It's crazy.
Yeah, 10 years ago in Germany, that wasn't the case. I mean, you didn't see a million SUVs everywhere. Yeah. Now driving around Germany, the car, and I'm in Stuttgart, so it's going to be a little bit different, but I see more Macans than I see just about any other SUV here. That and a lot of G-Wagons.
The king.
G-Wagons are everywhere. But even when you look in the lower ends of the market, you see your small Hondas, you see your Toyotas, you see your BMWs, but by and large, it's an SUV.
Yeah.
And I think Ford did well with coming in with an electric small SUV that's going to fit that family. You've got that. You're kind of looking at that guy that's been in his career a good 8-10 years now. He's moved up a couple levels in the corporate ladder. He's got a new family. He wants to be environmentally smart, and Ford just drops this in front of him. And I don't know. I think when you look at some of the other choices that are out there, that's not a bad decision to make. I think that could be a winner for Ford long term.
So bottom line, people just need to get over the name. That's it. Just address the white elephant, and that's it. Let's get over the name, guys, because I'm telling you, this is going to be a better model. I would say better Model Y by far. Now, look, right now we're seeing that the base model is going to have up to 300 miles per charge. And the GT is going to be above that and with a lot of performance.
Yes.
And a better looking vehicle and a recognizable name. Like, it's a Mustang. Okay, that's it.
I think the only people that are not going to shop this, if you're looking for an electric vehicle, are going to be your people that they've got to have the Rodeo Drive handbags and shoes. And, if you're just shopping by name,
you're gonna
probably
have
not going to get a lot of looks. But when you're talking, that's 2% of the population, maybe 5% at most.
Yeah,
I think this could be a winner for Ford. If I was in the market, I would have to look at it. I can't say that I'm quite to that point that I'm buying an electric vehicle yet, but I would certainly give it a look.
I will say 5 to probably the next purchase in my house. More than likely, if we're living in the same household soon, we probably going to buy an electric vehicle. Right now, we have 2 hybrids and a little Scion IQ. You didn't address that one, my friend. The little matchbox on wheels. That's crazy. But, I love it. For Italy, it's the best thing I can purchase.
Oh, that's a great Italian car.
Let me find it. Find it here.
And if I'm honest, if I were going to be buying a vehicle that I would drive back and forth to work, because like for right now, for me, it'd be a little bit different in the States. Being here in Germany, and we get subsidized gas that we can buy on base, and so we're not paying the same European prices for up to so many liters every month. But just back and forth to work. I work, 20 miles. I think it's 20 miles round trip.
That's what I drive, guys.
Yeah, I would consider an electric vehicle.
Electric is the way to go, and I think that will be the next purchase in many families. I will say probably right now I was reading about Rivian, the new SUVs and the trucks that are coming. The Hummer is coming electric. Cadillac is coming with the new electric vehicle. The Chevy Bolt. We were talking about it before the podcast.
Yeah, that's not, again, for a small car. That's not a bad car.
No.
Can you imagine? We're sitting here talking about Tesla and Volvo and BMW and Porsche, and then who's popping up now? You're seeing Chevys, you're seeing Hyundai, you're seeing Ford, you're seeing, Honda. They've all, Mini even now has got an electric Mini coming out.
Toyota. Toyota's coming with one by 2021, and I put my predictions right here on my channel that we're coming to see a CHR electric. That's what I believe Toyota's going to bring with a solid-state battery, 600 miles. That's what they're promising, and they're saying that the battery is going to last up to 30 years. I think, and I said it, I know here, guys, if you guys have made it this long into this video, I think that you guys really like the channel, and you should hit that like button and subscribe. Consider to subscribe, because this is going to be the weekly thing. We're going to have this podcast weekly. But I actually put my words on that once Toyota comes out with their electric whatever, it doesn't matter if it's a hatchback, SUV, or sedan, it's game over for everybody else. That's me. And I'm a Toyota guy. I'm sorry. I said it. I put my words out there. And I'm telling you, you guys have been watching that video for over 5,000 views right now. It's coming. And I highly believe it's going to be the CHR, because they promised that electric vehicle for the United States is going to come in 2021. So they don't have time to develop any platform. They're already selling it in Japan. No, in Japan, in China. The CHR in China, electric. So that's what's coming. Then eventually they're going to bring the Lexus and the other cars, platforms that they're testing right now. But the CHR is coming electric. I said it. Leave the comments down below and say that I'm wrong. But it's coming. What do you think, Mike?
Well, I think so too. I think it makes a lot of sense for Toyota, like you said, because a big part of those budgets that go into these cars is developing the platforms and the tooling for all of the parts and all of that. And if you're already making a jump into a new technology for a company, to utilize a platform that they already have the tooling for, they already have the manufacturing set up for it, it just makes sense. And that's a great seller for Toyota worldwide.
Yep.
I think that's a good move. I think that's a better move than to try to go into it with a Corolla. I think just because, even though size-wise they're almost the same size in a lot of dimensions. I think
it's like a Corolla on stilts, basically.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it's the fact that it is an SUV, that is appealing enough to people that they would go for that. I think for me, if I was going to buy one, I'm holding out for the Volkswagen ID3, which is it's not released stateside yet. It's only I think it was just released in England.
Oh no, it's here. It's here in Italy too. I saw it in the dealership.
I haven't seen any here yet.
Oh, they're beautiful. They're beautiful.
Yeah, it's basically the e-Golf.
Yes.
But there's rumors floating around, and I don't know, and I'm hoping it makes it to the States at some point, but Volkswagen's always been stingy with sending the performance models to the States. They're talking an ID3R.
Oh.
So an all-wheel drive, so essentially like a Golf R, which is, an all-wheel drive sporty version of their GTI. So if you're going to take a 300, what I've been hearing is somewhere between 300 and 350 horsepower equivalent, all-wheel drive, full electric with about 350 mile range. Oh, that might be hard to turn down, because like, you're a Toyota guy, I'm a longtime Volkswagen guy.
I know, you're a fan.
I've had my Mach 1 GTIs, my Scirocco's. I'm on my second GTI. I've had Passats, and I've run through a lot of the Volkswagen range over the years. I love my GTI. I think what they've done with and it's not the fastest hot hatch out there right now.
But it's one of the most entertaining.
But I'll tell you what, for smiles per mile, it's pretty high on the list. And when I come around a corner and I could put my foot to the floor in first gear on a tight corner, and I'm not losing grip, I've got no torque steer. That's pretty impressive technology.
Yeah.
And for them to be able to put that into an electric platform, I would love to get that around the ring.
Oh, the ring. We need to go together. Let's go.
Oh, yes, we do.
Let's go.
Oh, yes, yes.
Dude. And
I can't wait.
Dude, the ring, Hockenheim is like within 2 hours from your house.
Oh, yeah. No, believe me, I've already been by there.
Dude, then we got Monza down here. Mm-hmm. We got Maranello. Yep. We got the legendary tracks of the world. And not far from you, actually, 2 hours from my house, which is like 2 hours from yours. That will be 4 hours from yours. It's the Spa from Belgium. Francorchamps Spa.
Well, and then if we go a little bit south between you and I right now, we've got Austria and the Red Bull Ring.
The Red Bull Ring. Are they allowing people to get their cars in there?
I don't know if they are right now or not. I know they had in the past. I don't know if they currently are or not.
With the pandemic, nothing is open, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But,
yeah. But man, so I think that we're good with this podcast right now. Let's see if we can wrap it up. And I will ask you a question. The question of the day, guys, is the question of the day will be, would you purchase a Mustang Mach E over the Model Y, a Volkswagen ID over the Chevy Bolt? What do you think, Mike? What are your choices right now? Mach E, Model Y, ID3, Chevy Bolt. Chevy Bolt looks sexy too. Let me tell you, the new one is coming.
For a small car, absolutely. I think Chevy's done a great job with that.
It's right
between those two, I'm probably going to take the Volkswagen just because I prefer Volkswagen.
The ID3.
I think
you're just
I think
biased.
I would go with
You're just biased.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I own that. Right now, I think in terms of a little bit of exclusivity, I think I would take the Mach E.
The Mach E.
Over the Tesla, just because I'm tired of seeing Teslas everywhere.
My God. You gotta hear me. Like, somebody's with me.
That's like for me, a Tesla's like the Michael Kors of cars. You know, you go to the store and every other lady you see has got a Michael Kors purse. You know, I've got nothing against them. I don't. I mean, they're just everywhere.
Ladies, you guys have the right to have a Michael Kors.
Yeah,
that's him. That's him.
I'm not hating on the Michael Kors purses. I'm no judgment. And in terms of what you see out there, that's what you see the most of.
Yeah.
And you know, I think the same thing with Tesla. I think when you look for electric vehicles right now, that's what you see.
Yeah.
And there are some people that drive Teslas and they, you know, don't necessarily have the best opinion of people that don't drive Teslas. And I think you can say that about every car.
Yeah.
You know, a Ford guy hates a Chevy guy, and a BMW guy hates a Mercedes guy, and you know, I think that you know that runs through cars.
Yeah.
But I think if I show up in a parking lot with a Mach E, and there's 4 other Teslas, and somebody that's looking at a car that knows cars, I'd be willing to bet I get more looks than the Tesla.
Yeah, definitely. Well, my choices will be in between the Mach E and the Tesla Y. Obviously, Mustang Mach E. In between the ID3 and the Volt. That Chevy looks... Nah, the ID3. I'll go with you. I agree with you. ID3 looks good. And it's because I actually sit on it the other day. And I think it's good quality. And it's going to come to kill that competition. At least for now, until Toyota comes with whatever they come. And I think ID3 sounds good. So... we're going to leave it right there, guys. And don't forget to subscribe, share your comments, become part of the community of atCAMS. Mike is going to be with us at least once a week. We're going to have this run of podcasts for a while and see if you guys like it. Let's keep on piling it up. If not, we change things around. Mike is going to be here for a long time. So, guys, I will see you guys soon. Mike, you have something else to say?
Hey, I appreciate it, guys. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, leave your comments. We like cars. We're not saying we're right, but this is our opinion.
That's our opinion. And that's the hardest thing to find on YouTube right now. Everybody's getting paid, and we get paid by Our Pocket Boutique. That's our sponsor, Left Pocket and Right Pocket. They pay us every day. So that's all we have right now. So I will see you guys soon.